I'm very intentional with the way that I live life, right? So, like, I'm kind of just, I have my thing that I want to go towards, and I'm doing that or nothing. Like, I don't give a fuck what society says. I don't give a fuck what people say. I don't give a fuck because it's like, you live your life, I'll live mine, right? I mind my business, so I think others should probably do the same. And it's like, I get it, right? Like, because I sound crazy. Like, for the whole time I've been making videos, I just sound crazy. And for most of it, I looked crazy. But it's kind of funny. The thing that happens when results start to come in, right? Like, because I wasn't concerned with the results, which is why I saved a lot of the physical things for last. Like, I just wanted to work on my mind. You know, work on my spiritual shamanic journey. Work on, I'm a father. So, like, worked on that. Like, I don't know. There's just so many things where I'm like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Like, and I made all these things. Well, that's what I want to do. And that's what I'm doing. Like, and yeah, obviously, I still have money issues. But I know I won't forever. Because I know it's like, well, if you can get results in one thing, you can get results in everything. So, like, I see that there's a formula to it. There's a formula to gaining results. There's a formula, and the formula is to be intentional. How are you going to get results in something if you didn't intentionally want to go towards that something? Like, things don't just randomly happen. Now, sometimes they do. But for the most part, shit doesn't just randomly happen. It happened because the person was intentionally trying to make it happen. And sometimes you can live with intention and you're trying to make this thing happen. And sometimes, even though you tried so hard, it just doesn't happen. That happens sometimes too. But like, I really think the key is to be intentional and to be a little selfish. Like, everyone thinks selfish is such a bad thing. They're like, I don't want to be selfish. I want to be selfless. But there's a paradox to that shit, bro. That if you are not selfish, you will never be able to be selfless because you can't help anyone if you can't help yourself. Like, I don't know. Yeah, you can give words to people. The funny thing is, if you give words to people and it's the right words and it's the right information, the right advice, the right thing, but that person looks at you and can see that you don't even follow that advice, they probably won't even listen to it, even if it's correct. Why? Because, or let me say this, if you had results from the thing and you're like, this is what I did, this is my results, it might not work for you, but there's no harm in giving it a try, right? But you have to be intentional about it. Like, my intention with psychedelics is different than others because the whole time, from the very, before I even tried psychedelics, my intention was shamanic. Like, before ever smoking the DMT, before ever doing any of these things, my intention was, I'm only doing this thing because it's spiritual, because it's shamanic, because the shamans said this thing takes him to the spirit world, because Terence McKenna said he's met these entities and spoken to the mushroom and DMT beings, and like, that was the whole point. That was my intention. That's why. So, because my intention was shamanic from the very start, obviously I got something shamanic out of it, something life-changing out of it. So, like, I'm no longer the same person I was before I went into it. And that was intentional, right? I don't know. Down to even the crazy shit, right? Because, like, when I was 17, okay, I was with the mother of my daughter, and she was on birth control, right? But I asked her to take her birth control out so we can have a child. And I was only 17, right? But, like, my daughter was not an accident. She was intentional. Like, that's why I asked her to take the birth control out, so then she could get pregnant. Like, since I was 17, bro, I've just been living intentionally. Now, when I was 17, it was unconscious. The unconscious thing when I was 17 is just, I'm going to do what the fuck I want to do. This is what I want. And everyone obviously said, you're crazy. You're 17. Why would you want a kid? Right? Why? And it's like, I don't know. I just had this feeling, this soul intuition feeling, like, that I'm going to go towards that thing. Now, I did the same thing when I went down the shamanic journey. I got this intuition feeling. And it's like really about, for me, it's about following that feeling. And if something doesn't give me that feeling, it's just my thought, but I just think to myself, well, then that shit's probably not meant for me. You know, like, because I'm very intentional about what the fuck I want to do and what I'm doing, because I get 100 years on this planet. And I'm not going to let anyone fucking convince me to do a goddamn thing that I was not meant to or born to fucking do. Like, and that's why I said I sound crazy. Because that's why I was like, I don't know, this is probably like 6 months ago. I was like, bro, I'd be homeless for this shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. I care now, though, because, like, I actually have my daughter. So, like, I have to be a little more intentional in that aspect. Which I'm fine with that, too. You know, like, I don't know. There's just this whole thing with life where it's like, life is better with intention. Just like psychedelics are better when you have an intention. Like, what's the point? So, like, and there's no right or wrong way, because we're going to live and die. And it's just the way I look at life. But it's like, that's why I do what I do. I live the way I do. I think the way I do. I work on myself and better myself the way I do. Because I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. Like, because it's just what I want to do. At the end of the day, like, people are always like, why do you grow so much? Like, why do you work on yourself? I work on myself because I want to. This shit is fun to me, bro. You can't tell that I'm having the time of my motherfucking life. Like, damn. You know, like, even when I went through that breakup and I'm crying myself to sleep and I'm doing push-ups while I'm sitting there bawling, tears dropping on the floor, and I'm still doing push-ups, like, yeah, that shit sucked. But I look back and I'm like, that shit was fucking awesome. You know, like, because even though I went through that breakup, I was sad, it was something I didn't want to go through, I utilized that pain and said, okay, I want to become stronger. I want to become better. So then, even though I'm sad and crying, I'm still doing what the fuck I wanted to do, which was those push-ups, because I wanted to better myself. You know, not for the girl, because, like, I didn't even want her back. It was strictly because I wanted me back. And, like, I say back, but, like, the me that I am now, I've never been. But, like, it feels awesome being who I am now. So I'm not complaining, right? So I'm not complaining about anything that got me here. the breakup, the pain, the suffering, like, just all this shit that I went through, bro. But no matter what I go through, I still live with intention. Before, when I was in a relationship and I was in love, I was working on the things I worked on, right? Myself, my mind, my music, my art projects, all the shit that I'm been working on. When the girl left, I still have to do what the fuck I said I was going to do because that was my intention before I even got with the girl in the first place. I've been working on this one thing. I guess you can call it the Mark Dreams brand, but it's like, that's like a business terminology for it, but it's much deeper than that. So like, I was working on that since like 2015, since my first DMT trip. Like, since before I started making videos. So like, that's what I need to work on no matter what the fuck happens in my life. It doesn't matter how much pain I go through, how many people I lose, whether I'm homeless or rich, whether I'm fat or in shape. I have to do this thing because that's what I said I wanted, and I'm going to do anything and everything that I need to do to try to make that real. So like, I just live with intention. I don't know. So like, and it's not like there's nothing special about me, right? I'm just stubborn. I just don't give a fuck. I just, what the fuck's the worst? Like, what can anyone do? Make me homeless? You know, I've been locked up before. Like, that wouldn't stop me either. Like, because no matter where I am on earth, no matter what I'm doing, no matter what I said, I want to do this with my life, that's what I'm going to do. Work on my mind, work on my spiritual journey, work on just all this shit that I'm working on, in the nutshell, working on myself. And then when I'm strong enough in myself, then I could start bettering my life. And then it's like this whole thing of like, well, that was the intention. You know, it was my intention to save money for last. I made it like a mandatory thing where I need to work on the spiritual journey no matter where it takes me. And until I am, I guess you could say, rich enough in soul, like wealthy enough in the spiritual sense, then and only then will I start working on wealth in the physical sense. And that's just a rule that I made for myself. Like, I set rules. That's what I have to do. It doesn't, that's it. People will be like, well, you know, you can change that. No, I can't. You can. I can't. Because I made a commitment to myself. I made a fucking promise to myself. And I just think people don't take their life that serious, bro. When life is so serious because it's the only one you get. Or at least it's the only one you get being the human that you are now. Like, all the shit that it took to make the man I am today, that'll never happen again. Never in the forever of the universe. That'll never happen again. There will never be another you ever again. Even if your soul died and then comes back to Earth, you still would not be the same you that you are now. Because so much shit had to happen in your life. It's not just where you lived or the friends you had. Like, it's the breakups you had, or the problems, or the good things, or the this or the that. Like, all of it. And the way I look at it is, bro, I'm just living life. I understand that I'm gonna die one day. So that's why I live the way I do. So, like, just don't forget you're gonna die. And you might need to tell your boss to fuck off, you quitting because you have your dream to chase. You might have to tell, like, I don't know. it's just about, you might have to be selfish. Because, bro, if you're not, you're going to miss the chance to even really have the life you want. Because it's selfish. Like, I seen this thing where they said having children is selfish. And it's like, yeah, it was selfish for me to be like, I want a kid. And then she's here because I wanted her here when our kids didn't choose to come here. And, it's kind of selfish. But, like, that's why I wanted to be so present in my daughter's life. And, just present with her and be there with her. And, like, be able to go through things with her. Be the shoulder she needs to cry on. Be the person that listens to her when no one else does. Like, I knew, because I was like, well, this was my intention anyways. So that's why I knew that these are things that I had to do. Like, I don't know. I feel like I'm just rambling on. But, moral of the story, just live with intention. And then when you create an idea, go for that idea. And beat the fuck out of anyone who gets in your way. Not literally, but, like, if you need to literally, don't be scared to. Like, because there's going to be a lot of obstacles. A lot of things. A lot of people are going to tell you, you can't do that. Like, you can't live like that. This is how humans live. This is what humans do. It's like, great for you, but, like, I must not be human then, because that's not what I'm going to do. But I fucking love y'all.